Marxist, communist, anti-capitalist do you have around you on a daily basis? He doesn't just have socialists and communists advising him. Last night I told you about the people who helped write the stimulus package, the Apollo Alliance. Let me show you a picture of one of the leaders from the Apollo Alliance here in New York. This man's name is Jeff Jones. Now, I don't know if he has directly advised the president. I don't know that because we can't seem to get the entrance records at the White House. But we do know this. His organization, the Apollo Alliance, that he chairs here in New York, had a lot to do with the stimulus bill. This is according, we showed you this yesterday, to Harry Reid, who said, quote, "This legislation is the first step in building a clean energy economy that creates jobs. The Apollo Alliance has been an important factor in helping us develop and execute a strategy that makes great progress on these goals and in motivating the public to support them," end quote. Does the president know who this man is? Does the president and America demand and listen to this answer? Does the president know that he has now had two pretty big encounters with the founders of the Weather Underground? That's the group that bombed government buildings. Do you remember? He didn't really know Bill Ayers, but now indirectly the other founder of the Weather Underground is helping write our bills. We asked the White House today if the president knew. We're still waiting for a response. By the way, we also told you that the White House has tried or wanted to go around the FBI to have some of the vetting done by the White House. FBI seemingly is a little slow. I would think that based on what's happening here at the White House, it's pretty important to have an outside eye vet some of the people who may be advising our president. Tonight, I will ask you, how many times do we have to find a Marxist, a communist, a socialist, a revolutionary, or what seems amazing to me, a simple anti-capitalist near or around or advising the President of the United States before we as a people ask the question? When the President promises us this:
we are 5 days away from fundamentally transforming the United States of America.
Is he promising to transform us into something unrecognizable to most Americans, but not unrecognizable to someone, Venezuela, like Hugo Chavez, who joked, quote, "Hey, Obama's just nationalized nothing more and nothing less than General Motors. Comrade Obama. Fidel, be careful or we are going to end up to his right," end quote. Is it un-American? Is it hateful? Is it shocking? Is it outrageous to sincerely and honestly ask this question? When the communist president of Venezuela says something like that, and there are literal communists advising the president, should we maybe be asking some more questions? Phil Kerpen is here. He is the Director of Policy at Americans for Prosperity. Phil, how are you? Good to see you.
Glenn.
I wanted to bring you here because I want to show you what's on the other side of the board, and I need you to help draw this together because I think this is stunning. We have Van Jones. We tied him yesterday, tied him together with right directly to Obama and right directly to the Apollo Alliance. Here's Jeff Jones. Put the picture of Jeff Jones up again, please. Jeff Jones is an interesting character. Jeff Jones is the founder of the Weather Underground, right?
That's correct.
What else has he done?
Well, Jeff has been involved not just in those terrorist activities with the Weather Underground. He was actually part of the Weather Bureau, modeled on the Politburo, which was the high leadership where he was with Bill Ayers. But Jones was on the run, hiding from the law for about a decade before he was finally caught in a dramatic raid where his 4-year-old child saw him arrested in 1981. He then became an advisor to environmental groups, to labor organizations, and to the New York State government, where he sits on a commission for Governor Patterson.
Okay, hold on just a second. You hear this, what he did? Labor groups, Think of SEIU and all the unions. Oh, by the way, did anybody notice that the head of the Fed here in New York is now the former head of the AFL-CIO? That shouldn't be any problem. Here in New York, corruption with finances, New York and the unions? Nah, that's crazy. Okay, so labor unions and environmental projects. Van Jones, green jobs czar, okay? Then what did he do?
Well, he's on a panel that we don't know much about, a commission that Governor Patterson put him on called the Energy and Environment Transition Commission. I haven't been able to get any information about that. But one of the important things that I really found notable is that he's an advisor to something called the Workforce Development Institute here in New York, which is advising state and local government and universities on how to write their grants to get stimulus funds from the stimulus bill that he and his friends in Apollo wrote.
Hold on just a second. Okay. So the co-founder of the Weather Underground is working for the governor of New York. Wow. And he's writing how to get money from the stimulus bill written by the Apollo Alliance, which he is the head of here in New York.
That's right, and he's also an advisor, a consultant for the National Apollo Alliance as well.
Okay, good. So then we have Jeff Jones and Bill Ayers. We have Rashid Khalidi, who is a radical in his own right, tied directly to Barack Obama. The Movement for a Democratic Society, what is that?
That is a reconstituted version of the old Students for a Democratic Society, which was the parent organization of the Weather Underground. These were the 1960s radicals who wanted a revolution to overthrow the country.
Communists.
They reconstituted it now.
But here's the thing, America. Communist movement, a movement for a democratic society. Communist movement. What year was it founded?
It was just recently founded in 2006.
2006. This is, and correct me if I'm wrong, this is what I see. We have Carl Davidson, progressives for, they're all connected. Carl Davidson is connected to the New Party, which is connected to the Movement for Democratic Society, to progressives, to Van Jones, to Jeff Jones. It's all connected. These people down here are radicals. There is no way, they may have been adding business people and everybody else, but they're basically radicals. Yes?
They are, Glenn, and actually the most frightening part about this is that these guys are not, for the most part, the public face of everything they're trying to do. They've got the mainstream guys. Carl Pope, the president of the Sierra Club, is on the board of the Apollo Alliance. They've got Leo Gerard from the International Steelworkers Union on the board of the Apollo Alliance. John Podesta from the Center for American Progress. All of the mainstream elements of the Obama administration and the liberal or progressive movement are tied in with these people.
Tied in. Great. Here's what's happening, America. The radicals are all down here. They start to filter up, and they come through the places like the Apollo Alliance, and they filter up, and they're scrubbed clean, so they don't look like radicals anymore. But they're all tied here. The question you have to ask, Obama never said that he was, he claimed that he was a Marxist, he listened to Marxist professors, he was a radical, and blah, 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 but he was very young. In his own book, he talks about seeking out those Marxist professors. When was his change? When did he ever stand up and say, I reject Marxist principles? He'll laugh about it. I reject Marxist principles. I reject these people. Marxists. I reject them. He hasn't. Should we ask him for that? Is it important to know? When we come back, I'm going to show you the anti-capitalist. Forget about Marxism. Forget about radicals. How about just anti-capitalists advising our president? We'll introduce you to them next.
Standing together to organize a revolutionary movement, the dangerous roots of storm, and the power these people still hold.
Miley tongue-tied.